So, what does a guy do when he's got a week off work and hasn't got much going on? Why, he goes off hiking up the tallest mountain in England and Wales, apparently. Last week, I got a spontaneous invite from my work colleague, Jay, to go hiking up Snowdon, which is in North Wales, for the weekend. And I thought to myself, okay, I'll give it a go. Good exercise. How hard can it be? On Saturday morning, after a hearty breakfast, we all drove to the foot of the mountain, to the starting point, to begin our hike. However, the car park was full and they were not letting anyone else in. So we had to pull over very quickly and rethink our starting point, which incidentally worked out in my favour because the new starting point was going up the easy hike route rather than the bastard hard hike route that Jay had in mind. Once we reached the foot of the mountain at this new starting point and did a final check of our camping gear, we began our hike up Snowdon Mountain. And boy, was it hard. Hi, this is us just starting our walk, and I kid you not, we've been walking for a minute and I'm exhausted. Oh God, this is gonna hurt. Still, it was a sunny day, and we got to see all the sights.
Which included sheep, grass, and the train which occasionally ran up and down the mountain.
And we were heading to the top of the mountain, which was deep in the clouds. We stopped by a cafe which was halfway up the mountain to have a little bit of a snack and figure out exactly where we were on the map. Hi there, we've managed to walk up halfway up the mountain, I think, of Snowdon, that's it. And we're taking some refuge at this kind of cafe halfway point station thing, because there's like a train that runs across this mountain for all the lazy people out there. Oh wow! Check this out. Kicking it back old school with lumps of sugar. I'm peppermint. So, it's been very tiring work, but it's been kind of worth it, really, isn't that right, boys? Yeah. Yeah, so. And one of the joys of the actual walk is trying to hand out these mixed fruit to see if anyone actually wants to take up on them. So far, asked 10 people, none of them wants it. A bit of a letdown, but that's life. Then we continued with a hike. And by this point the rucksack on my back was getting very heavy. My legs were straining under the pressure of the weight and the walking.
And I was lagging behind.
Then we actually walked into the clouds, and the nice sunny weather was to be replaced by
Low visibility, ice-cold winds, and spitting rain!
But the bastard part was the bastard stepping stone, which you had to reach your bastard legs up, and stepping on these stones all the bastard times, really working at your calves and your hips and your thighs. You know the kind, the one where you have to lift your legs up off every step, and it felt like it took an eternity. Suffice to say, Grax is tired. We just finished climbing up this side of this mountain thing. We're deep inside the clouds and I'm exhausted. It was one of the hardest things climb I've ever done. My legs are achy and tired, my shoulders are tired, I don't want to take another step, and yet it's been fun. We're not going to make it out alive! Mind you, I did find it odd that there was various people walking up and down the mountain which had less clothes than us, even people in shorts. And don't get me started on those crazy mountain bike people who were riding down the dirt track in the cold, wet weather. And the thing that made me chuckle was this little girl who was crying and bawling her eyes out as her dad dragged her down the mountain. Not literally, of course, because that would be nasty. But still, it was a funny sight to see, and I felt her pain. In the end, we made it to the top of the mountain. And there is photographic evidence of us being there.
See?
And I felt like we should have had a great sense of pride and achievement, but I didn't, because I felt completely knackered and I just wanted to go. We shortly found a quiet spot for us to rest and to start eating on our rations, which had a surprisingly vast selection of stuff. I tell you, Solid Snake has got the good life if his rations were anything like the rations that the MOD provide for our troops. We took the time to reflect on how the hike was going so far. Mister, what do you think about this entire journey as a whole?
Great. Just the views. Fantastic. Amazing. See for miles. I can see into England from here.
The team spirit.
It's what's made it for you.
It's great. I had a great time. Thank you. I really don't know what to say.
Is there anything that's particularly stuck out?
No, nipples, because it's fucking cold, but that's about it really.
Alright.
It's been nice.
Any last words?
Silent, Rich. It's just silence.
He's got 1,000 miles to stare.
Sound like a train?
Feeling temporarily recharged, we packed up our gear and hiked our way down the mountain through the dense fog, and again with me lagging behind. One disappointing aspect of the hike is there wasn't enough time for us to stop and to view and admire the scenery, although truth be told there wasn't anything to see.
Despite looking like a scene straight out of Silent Hill, I felt strangely calm and tranquil, and I just wanted to sit down, relax, and take it all in, even if it was spitting everywhere.
But no, I was to be denied this luxury because we had to reach the foot of the mountain before nightfall to set up camp. Incidentally, we never found somewhere decent on the Snowdon mountain to camp. We all pressed on through the cloud. Quite literally. Once we reached the other side, we discovered that everyone at the bottom of the mountain still had the sunny day weather that was at the start. Bugger. And we still had halfway to go until we reached the foot of the mountain. Bugger. But we managed to make it to the foot of the mountain just before it got dark. Afterwards, we drove to the nearest campsite, set up camp, and stayed up all night, finishing our rations, drinking rum and whiskey, and playing this really cool dice game. I think it was called Hot Dice, but I'm sure it's got many names. Despite all the strain, the sweat, the panting, the aching muscles, my god, my calf is still killing me. I had a bloody good time. It was a really good hike. It was the first hike I've ever done, and I'm looking forward to the next one I happen to do, wherever that might be.